He's faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. He's Superman. But what happens when that hope is broken, twisted, lost? Over the years, DC has taken us to some dark places. These are the stories DC Comics doesn't want you to remember. Tales so dark, so disturbing, they'd rather just bury them in the fortress of solitude and throw away the key. So join me, won't you, as we descend into the shadows and uncover the darkest Superman stories DC would rather you forget. The world of Superman at Earth's End is a desolate, apocalyptic nightmare. Humanity is clinging to survival by its fingernails, and even Superman, even he seems broken. Gone is the youthful, vibrant hero. In his place stands a grizzled, aged warrior. His hair is long and white, his face etched with the weariness of countless battles. The world has beaten him down, worn him down, but it hasn't broken his spirit, not completely. He still fights for us. He fights against monstrous creatures, mutated horrors spawned from the ashes of a dying world. But there's something off about this Superman. Maybe it's the shotgun. Yes, you heard me right. A shotgun. In his hands, it's not just a weapon, it's a symbol of how far he's fallen. And then there are the villains, clones of Hitler, twisted mockeries of humanity, hell-bent on finishing what their progenitor started. Fighting them, it's not about justice anymore, it's about survival. Superman at Earth's End is a bizarre, almost nihilistic take on the Man of Steel. The artwork is crude, the writing, questionable to say the least. It's a story that asks the question, what happens when even Superman loses hope? What happens when the world breaks him? The answer? Well, it's not pretty. We all know the Joker is a monster, a force of chaos and madness dedicated to proving that anyone can fall. But in Injustice: Gods Among Us, he doesn't just break Batman, he shatters Superman's entire world. Lois Lane, murdered. Not by some random thug, not in the heat of battle, but by Superman's own hand, tricked by the Joker's cruel machinations. The grief, the guilt, it consumes him. Superman, the symbol of hope, the beacon of light. He snaps. He kills the Joker, a decision that sends shockwaves through the world. But it's just the beginning. He decides humanity can't be trusted with free will, that without his guidance we're doomed to destroy ourselves. So he does what he thinks he has to do. He takes control, he forms the regime, a global dictatorship with himself at the helm. What makes Injustice so chilling is that Superman's descent into tyranny, it feels unsettlingly believable. Injustice forces us to confront a terrifying question. What if we're wrong about Superman? What if he's not the hero we thought he was? What if he's just one bad day away from becoming something else? We all know the story of Superman. Rocketed from a dying world raised by loving parents in Smallville, Kansas. But what if that never happened? What if Kal-El landed somewhere else? Superman. The dark side answers that question in the most terrifying way possible. In this twisted reality, baby Kal-El's rocket doesn't land in Kansas. It doesn't land on Earth at all. It crashes on Apokolips. Found by Darkseid himself, the infant Kal-El is raised not as a symbol of hope, but as a weapon. He's molded into the ultimate weapon, a brutal enforcer for Apokolips, taught to conquer and destroy in Darkseid's name. He eventually learns the truth of his origins, turning against Darkseid in a climactic battle that nearly shatters reality itself. But the scars remain, the atrocities he committed in Darkseid's name, the countless lives he extinguished. That kind of darkness, it leaves a mark. Superman. The dark side is a sobering reminder that nature, it only gets you so far. It's nurture that truly shapes us. The death of Superman. It's an event etched into the very fabric of comic book history. But in the twisted reflection of the dark multiverse, that sacrifice, it breeds something monstrous. In this reality, Lois Lane doesn't just mourn Superman's death, she's consumed by it. Twisted by grief, she becomes something else. She bonds with the Eradicator, a powerful Kryptonian weapon, becoming a vengeful goddess with the power to reshape the world in her image. She becomes the Eradicator Queen, a tyrant draped in the remnants of Superman's legacy. She eliminates anyone who stands in her way, anyone who dares to challenge her vision of justice. Tales from the dark multiverse. The death of Superman is a cautionary tale about the corrupting nature of grief, of how easily love can twist into obsession, and how even the noblest ideals can be perverted into something monstrous. It's a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, even when all hope seems lost, we must hold on to our humanity. Picture, if you will, the dark alleys of Gotham City. A mugging gone wrong. A young boy, his parents gunned down before his eyes. In the Elseworlds tale, Superman speeding bullets, that boy is Kal-El. He witnesses the same trauma that created Batman, but instead of channeling his pain into a relentless crusade against crime, he becomes something far more unhinged. He's Superman, but without the Kents to guide him, without their love and compassion to temper his Kryptonian might, he's a force of nature with no moral compass. He doesn't just stop criminals, he executes them. He becomes judge, jury, and executioner, his methods growing increasingly brutal, his actions blurring the line between hero and villain. He becomes a symbol of terror, a grim reflection of what Superman could have become if fate had dealt him a different hand. Superman speeding bullets is a chilling exploration of nature versus nurture. It asks the question, what if the only thing separating Superman from a monster is the love of two ordinary people? The world loves a winner. They flock to strength, to those who promise easy answers, swift justice. And in Action Comics number 775, a new breed of hero emerges, one that challenges everything Superman stands for. They are the Elite, a team of superhumans who operate with ruthless efficiency, eliminating threats with extreme prejudice. Superman, he sees the danger in their methods, the slippery slope of their ideology. He tries to reason with them, to show them that there's another way, a better way. But they scoff at his ideals, at his unwavering belief in redemption. He confronts the Elite, unleashing the full fury of his Kryptonian might. He fights with a brutality we've never seen from him before, taking them down one by one, but it's all a ruse, a calculated performance designed to expose the Elite for what they truly are, bullies hiding behind superpowers. In the end, Superman shows the world that true strength lies not in brutality but in restraint, that true justice demands compassion, not vengeance. Action Comics number 775 reminds us that the line between hero and villain, it's thinner than we think. Look, I know what you're thinking. Superman 3, really? And yeah, okay, it's not exactly a cinematic masterpiece. It's cheesy, it's campy, it's got Richard Pryor doing, well, Richard Pryor things, but buried beneath the slapstick and the special effects that haven't aged particularly well, there's a genuinely unsettling story here. It all starts with synthetic kryptonite. See, instead of just weakening Superman, this new kryptonite, it twists him from the inside out. It slowly strips away his inhibitions, his morality, leaving behind a darker, crueler version of the Man of Steel. We watch in dismay as Superman becomes, well, kind of a jerk. He's arrogant, he's selfish, he even starts hitting the sauce. But things take a truly dark turn with the creation of evil Superman. This isn't some imposter, some bizarro clone. This is Clark Kent, split in two, his good and bad halves battling for control. Superman 3 might not be a perfect film, but it taps into a primal fear. The fear that deep down beneath the surface of even the most noble heart, darkness lurks. The Cold War, a clash of ideologies, a battle for the very soul of the world. But what if that battle was fought not with bombs and bullets, but with the might of a single, superpowered individual? Superman Red Son explores that chilling possibility. In this alternate timeline, baby Kal-El's rocket doesn't land in Kansas. It lands in Soviet Ukraine. Raised under the sickle and hammer, Superman becomes a symbol of Soviet strength. He believes he's bringing peace and equality through Soviet authority. He's a hero, just not ours. He crushes dissent, all in the name of a utopian society. But as with all utopias, it comes at a cost measured in freedom and individuality. By the end, Superman realizes the monster he's become. He sees the error of his ways, the horrors he's unleashed. Red Son is a cautionary tale about the seductive nature of power and the dangers of blind ideology. There are stories that haunt you, stories that stay with you long after you've turned the final page. Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow is one of those stories. It's a Superman story unlike any other. The story unfolds like a nightmare, a slow descent into darkness as Superman's world crumbles around him. One by one, those closest to him are targeted. Jimmy Olsen, Lana Lang, even Krypto, his loyal canine companion. None are spared. Each death is more brutal, more senseless than the last, a testament to the depths of human cruelty. Superman, the ever-optimistic, the unbreakable symbol of hope. He's broken, the weight of the world, the endless struggle against evil, it finally becomes too much. In the end, faced with the unbearable grief of losing everything he holds dear, Superman makes a choice. He steps into a chamber of gold kryptonite, permanently stripping himself of his powers, becoming mortal. He walks away from it all, from Metropolis, from his life as Superman, from the burden of being a god among men. Whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow isn't just a story, it's a eulogy. A poignant, poetic goodbye to a hero who gave everything, who sacrificed everything for a world that could never truly understand him. From the ashes of a dying world to the twisted grip of tyranny, we've seen Superman push to his limits and beyond. We've witnessed the darkness that festers beneath the surface, the potential for corruption that even the purest heart can't escape. These stories, these glimpses into the darkest corners of the DC universe, they serve as warnings. They remind us that power, even in the hands of the well-intentioned, can be a dangerous thing. They force us to confront the possibility that our heroes aren't as incorruptible as we'd like to believe. But most importantly, they remind us why Superman's morality, his unwavering belief in truth and justice, is just as important as his incredible strength. They show us that without that moral compass, without that guiding light, even the Man of Steel can fall. So tell me, what do you think? What's the darkest Superman story you've ever encountered? Let's discuss in the comments below, if you dare.